support the petition by the people of Jomvu constituency in Mombasa. Honorable Speaker, the question of land compensation, as Minority Whip says, is a very touchy subject. And we've always said land is an emotive and touchy subject in this country. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, as much as land is emotive and touchy, it's also true that the development of infrastructure goes a long way to improving not just the lot of the people around where the infrastructure is being built, and in this case, the road in Jomvu, and opening up the entire of the Mombasa Island, but also helps to improve connectivity between towns. And the member for Jomvu will tell you how difficult it is, especially during rush hours, to move from the island of Mombasa even to get to Kilifi or Mtwapa using that road. But, Honorable Speaker, we must look at bigger issues on land compensation in this country. And this afternoon, Honorable Speaker, I had a meeting with the CEO of the National Lands Commission. And among the issues we are discussing are issues touching on land compensation, because Kenha, who should be providing the funds, has failed. And I have no fear in saying we have a very inept Director General of Kenha, completely inept. And the Minister in charge of infrastructure, CS Ichungwa Murkomen, must either take up the work of the DG Kenha or act on the DG Kenha to make sure that he does his work in accordance with the law. Because we can't be lamenting here as members of parliament. I can see the Honorable Pio and I saying the DG is from my county. It is true. The DG comes from my county in Kiambu.
What's your
but
point
I do not stomach ineptness, even in my own office.
I'm on a point of order.
Not stomach ineptness.
I'm on a point of order. Madam Speaker, you know we have got rules in this house that have to be applied at all times. I have got no knowledge of that DG in person, and neither do I hold brief for him. But our rules don't allow us to discuss the conduct of a person who cannot defend themselves on the floor of this house. It would be better if there's an issue with the DG Kenha that a motion is brought to discuss his conduct or performance so that we can deal with the matter in a procedural manner. Thank you.
What's your point of order, Honorable Junet?
Honorable Speaker, I cannot disagree with my leader here. But, Madam Speaker, we are discussing here the office of the Kenya National Highway Authority, Madam Speaker. And if they are doing a shoddy job, and you know, through God, through, I think, some angels that now has come through the majority leader, and the majority himself is condemning today Kenya here in the House, Madam Speaker, we just have to clap for him. We cannot oppose him. We cannot oppose the majority leader. Yeah.
You may proceed, Majority Leader, with those compliments.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, my good friend, the leader of minority, might not have listened to me keenly because he was being interrupted by the member for Kathiani. Because I was not discussing the conduct of a person. I was discussing the office of the Director General of Kenha. And the person who holds that office, if he's inept, I have no fear saying he's inept. And I said he actually hails from my county. But ineptness, not village, county. And the Honorable Junet must know I do not just come from a village. I come from a village called Mayaihe that hosts the Alliance High School. And I don't need to say that. That is why the senior counsel, Otiende Amolo, the other day I went to a village school. But you know, it is so derogatory to refer to the Alliance High School as a village school. Honorable Speaker, I was saying on Kenha, Honorable Speaker, because that is a bigger issue. We cannot be committing public resources to construction of roads. And the engineers who design those roads know that they have designed a road that is going to touch on particular land that belongs to members of the public. By the time they are committing a contractor, they must have made sure that the monies relating to land compensation have gone to NLC and the people compensated. Because we are also misusing and misappropriating public resources when contractors are penalizing the same Kenha for idle time because they cannot access the ground where they are to do a road. Honorable Speaker, is not just Jomvu. If you go to my constituency here, and those who drive to the western parts of Kenya will tell you, the junction around Gitaru, at the intersection of 3 major national highways, the southern bypass, the western bypass, and the Great Northern Corridor, Wayakiwe-Rironi interchange. That interchange, Honorable Speaker, has stayed for like 4 or 5 years without being completed on account again of land compensation. And Honorable Speaker, the same thing with Kisumu, and the Honorable Junet will tell you, the Mamboleo Junction. Honorable Speaker, you must protect me from Honorable Junet. He's telling me to pronounce junction as Junction. And he knows I hail from Kikuyu, not the other part of that part of the country where the Honorable Tiende Omolo would say Junction. So the Mamboleo Junction has stayed, I think Mamboleo is close to 9 or 11 years, incomplete. But you can be certain the contractor there is charging for idle time, for idle equipment, and penalizing Kenha. And we are paying interest, Honorable Speaker. And that's why I'm saying the CS in charge of infrastructure, CS Kipchumba Murkomen, besides giving directives from his office, he must show this country that he is able to deliver on the mandate that the people of Kenya gave him through his appointment by His Excellency the President. And he must begin with Kenha. I say he must begin with Kenha. Because that is where the problem is. And I know they will hide behind, oh, we have not had resources, exchequer resources. If you look at the amount of money being wasted in what are called PBC contracts in Kenha, you'll be amazed. Contractors in Kenha and Kura are minting billions of shillings from taxpayers' money for sweeping roads and planting flowers. And these are facts, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker. Therefore, let us not hide behind, oh, people, this one is from my county, the CS belongs to my coalition. They must deliver. And none other than President William Ruto has said every public officer he has appointed to office must deliver services to the people of Kenya. And if you are holding public office to serve private interests above public interest, count your days. And let me speak to those engineers in Kenya. Start counting your days if you do not shape up. You will either shape up or ship out.